in. And in fact, we're joined by Jarrod Stenhouse, who's also been in touch with us from Australia, Jarrod, but you're living near the protest area in Bangkok. I just wonder what your feeling is at the moment. This has been plaguing Bangkok for weeks. Have you been scared by what's been going on?
It's up until the last 3 or 4 days, there hasn't really been a sort of air of violence to any of the protests. My work is actually inside the protest zone, and we haven't felt concerned at all. But obviously, in the last 3 or 4 days, things have changed quite quickly, and there's just a real feeling of confusion more than anything, I guess. No one really knows what's going on here.
Would you say that you have a certain sense of relief that they've cleared this patch now, they've cleared the encampment, and I suppose some sense of normality should return?
Well, I mean, up until now, the violence and the problems have been confined to the campsite, but about 3 hours ago there was an explosion about 200 metres away from my apartment, which I actually can still see it burning, but 2 buses were set alight underneath the elevated SkyTrain station. And this area has not been affected by any protests up until today, so it seems to be spreading into other areas, which certainly got a lot of people in this area worried.
Right, so just simply by dispersing so many of these demonstrators to wherever they might go, it changes the scenario really for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We sort of, it was all contained in one area, and we knew that the protest was happening in the centre of Bangkok, and we could live around that. But since the UDD leaders have been taken into custody, there's an element of the red shirts who want to continue, and they want to keep causing this trouble. And there's no one there to control them now, so we're seeing fires and fighting breaking out all over Bangkok now, and no one really knows where it's going to come from next.
Let's just ask you, Jarrod, you've been in Bangkok for less than a year, I think, is that right? I mean, does your view of the city change fundamentally from all that's gone on here, or do you just see this as an extraordinary episode and, life, you presume, will carry on as normal? I mean, what is your view?
I've been sort of working in Thailand on and off for years now. I was here when the military coup happened. I was here when the yellow shirts took over the airport, and now I'm here doing this. So I've certainly seen a lot of the ugly side of Thai politics. But yeah, it's a real shame. It's a fantastic country. It relies so much on tourism. My feelings about the country remain the same. I don't want to leave, but at the same time, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see a country doing this to itself, and it relies so much on tourism, and it's just, I work in the travel industry, and we're really suffering because of this. People don't want to come to Thailand anymore, and I think that's the real shame of it all.
Oh, I bet it must be devastating for business if you are in the tourism industry.
Yeah, people have been cancelling trips, and this is the thing that really sort of upsets us, is the people that are involved in tourism. I'm not talking about the foreigners, but the Thai people working in hotels, working in restaurants and shops. They're the ones that suffer in situations like this, and I think that's the real shame.
Okay, Jarrod, thank you very much indeed for talking to us here on BBC World News. We're going to go straight back down onto the streets because Alistair Leithhead is in Bangkok for us. Where are you, Alistair?